Paul. How are you?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Good.
Good to see you.
How are you doing, sir?
All right, welcome everybody to the regular Galt City Council meeting for December the 2nd, 2025. Can I have a roll call, please?
Vice Mayor Sandu.
Here.
Councilmember Pratton.
Here.
Councilmember Reed.
Here.
Councilmember Rodriguez.
Here.
Mayor Carmer.
Here. I guess I should call the meeting to order, so jumping out of, it's not like I haven't done this before. All right, if everyone can please stand and join us for a silent prayer followed by a flag salute. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Tina, can you please read our replay statement?
This meeting of the Galt City Council is recorded with closed captioning. The recording will be cablecast on Metro Cable Channel 14, the Local Government Affairs Channel, on the Comcast and Direct UVerse cable systems. The recording will also be video streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting replays Friday, December 5th at 9 a.m. and Saturday, December 6th at 9 a.m. on Metro Cable Channel 14. Once posted, the recording of this meeting can be viewed on demand at youtube.com/MetroCable14.
All right, thank you. Moved on to item B, agenda approval, additions and/or deletions. We have anything from council? No? Okay. Move on to item D, public comment. Tina?
Under Government Code Section 54954.3, members of the public may address the City Council on non-agenda items. The public comment section is for the City Council to receive comments. Except for brief responses to questions, no discussion or action may be taken on any item that is not listed on the agenda. Please limit comments to a maximum of 5 minutes. Consistent with the City Council procedural guidelines, the mayor reserves the right to shorten the time limit for speakers to ensure the efficient and timely completion of all city business on the agenda. Ken Lee.
Good evening, Council. I'm Ken Lee, currently living at Galt Place until they evict me. Basically, it seems that the flea market has weeded out the three phone companies, representatives who are liars and cheaters. But it would be nice if the flea market would require service businesses post their address of origin so they don't pretend to be a local business. Because some of them are pretending, like the T-Mobile was pretending to be this local business that we have in Galt, and they weren't. They were from 50 miles away. It would be nice if they could plan a senior resource event like they have the annual event in San Joaquin County, where it brings all the resources and agencies together for the seniors. We had one in Galt here at the Cibola Center, but only 20 businesses showed up. But it brings seniors out from other areas, other towns, and $50 a space, it drives city revenue. San Joaquin, they fill up about 300 spaces. Seniors get educated and resourced to agencies that they don't usually have time to go visit. And it would be nice if the Monday bingo at the Cibola Center could get funded to price more gift cards. We used to get gift cards on every other game, but now we only get about 1 or 2 gift cards. It gives us a day out, especially on the budget that we get off of Social Security. It also introduces us to new eateries, and if we like it, we continue to go back and spend our money there. So it's a win-win for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lee.
No more public comment on the
Okay.
agenda.
All right, moving on to item E, reports by city council members on regional boards, commissions, and committees. Start with Mr. Pratton.
Nothing to report this month.
All right. Did you go to the cast?
Oh, I did. I was just gonna cover it. I went to like 10 things or something.
Okay.
I was just gonna do it all at the end.
Oh, okay.
I can report out on the cast one. I got it right here.
I know I missed
Thanks
it.
for reminding me.
Yeah.
I just put it on that list. Not a lot to report out. Cast, the cast meeting. The one thing that stood out that I thought was interesting was the attendance is actually up at both school districts. So, I mean, that's a huge change from just our previous meeting where
Like how much?
it was looking rough. They didn't give us numbers. They just said they're up. I know that at the high school, they're talking about, having to hire new teachers probably for next year. So they still have plenty of room, to grow, but they're finally starting to not have to worry about letting teachers go. So it's a step in the right directions for both schools. Putting in a new mural in the Estrelita school. Other than that, that was about it. It's
All right.
pretty easy.
That's good news. Thank you. Vice Mayor Sandu.
I'm going to report a few things. One thing, I attended November 13 with the CSD meeting with the 2 council member. That was city manager was there, chief was there. We discussed two things, and especially fire chief. He gives some kind of a broad thing, how much area we cover, and that's what his report said. CSD total covering 157 square miles. Elgrove 42.2 square miles. Elgrove 6.8 square miles. And unincorporated 108 square foot. And the total 157, the total population, Elgrove, Galt, and incorporated 14,821. And in that kind of population, they recommended median rate, how many personnel we have. The CSD, they have 208 firefighter, but current firefighter, they have 195. So they are kind of 13. But the good news is when we was narrowed down on the Galt, and Galt population approximately that time when they make a report on 26,000, and they recommended median rate like in 25 personnel, but we have a 30 firefighters. So the report showed we are very good on the personal wise. And the other thing we, discuss, the other council member, Mr. Tim, he have a lot of question on I think he might be, when his turn, he might be explained better because they have very detailed question to the answer. And that's the next thing. I attended the public safety meeting on November 24. And that was myself, there was a 3 committee member, and the chief was there, and other people was there from the, I think TJ was there. And first thing, TJ did the presentation on the noise ordinance. And that was very detailed. And I will ask the staff, they might be give that presentation, might be bring to the council. So this kind of thing, everybody, sometimes we say the dog is barking, but there is not just bark, you can complain, there is some kind of, but that's a detail, same thing, other noise ordinance. The next thing we, I think, our chief, he give us like in police statistic till October 1st, and I think he can bringing something whole to the council at the end of the year. And then also, Chief explained about the drone program updated. This was approved by the council and as he explained to the Public Safety Committee. And also e-bike regulation approved by the council, that's, he also explained to this Public Safety meeting. And that's all, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Councilmember Reed.
Good evening. I will piggyback off of what the vice mayor said. So yes, I did attend the 2x2 meeting with himself and the others that he announced. And it was to talk about the fire department and the ambulance responses here in Galt. And so I'll just give some high-level numbers that they presented to us. And it was a very good presentation that was very well thought out, and it answered almost all the questions that I had proposed to them. But just so everybody knows that in Galt, the Consumnes Fire District ran 3,674 incidences in 24-25. 69% of them were medical calls. Of that, 1,862 were transported to the hospital by an ambulance. And of those 1,862, 93 of those patients were transported to the hospital via an ambulance from Elk Grove. The average response times for the fire engines are 5 minutes and 52 seconds. For the ambulances, it's 6 minutes and 10 seconds. And of those, we've had 169 times that we had engines from Elk Grove into Galt to help assist us with things. The other thing that sparked my attention was the drastic decrease in what they call ambulance patient offload times. When an ambulance gets to the hospital and the amount of time that they have to wait to offload a patient into a bed for the hospital. On average, now it's 22 minutes, where in the year 23-24, it was over an hour. So that's very beneficial to us, and unfortunately at that time, Sacramento County was the worst in the state. So now they're on the better end of that. There were some other concerns that I had brought up to them, and I'm addressing it with the board of director and the chief. The other thing I was going to talk about, excuse me, was the Consumnes Groundwater Authority meeting, which they're right at the end of their year. They went through a financial audit. They found some issues that they're having to clean up, and so they're going to they recommended renewing the audit contract that they have for the next 3 years, and so that they can continue to fix those problems that they had in their books. And that's all I got.
All right, thank you, sir. Thanks for sharing the information. It's very interesting on the CSD. Ms. Rodriguez.
So I attended this SACOG Board of Director meeting on November 20th. It was actually really interesting. We talked about that blueprint that they came to talk to us about and showed us a preliminary booklet that will be advertised basically, and it just has each jurisdiction is listed in there and some of their projects that they're looking forward to. Some of them have projects that they completed. Right now it's pretty boring, it's just text, but they are going to add photos and then use it, hopefully going places like Cap to Cap and other regional maybe industries that may be looking for this to come into this into this region, and maybe pick and choose a place to come and be. So it was pretty exciting. They did show us the photos that they were proposing, and so I looked at the Galt ones. They look pretty good. So so that was kind of exciting. We did get as part of this, we did get a report on our region, and I just want to remind everybody that our region we're the most southern part, of course, and our region goes all the way up to Sutter and Butte. How far does SACOG go? Sutter, Butte, up Butte, all the way up there, and then to the eastern border of California, and I don't know quite how far west we go, but it go. So it's a pretty big region. But for the region, we were the fastest growing region in the state over the last year and a half. We are the second highest. We have the second highest housing costs in mediums, medium cogs like us across the nation. And we have the third highest rent across the nation. So it was kind of an interesting to kind of put a perspective of where we're at. So, and I think I talked about earlier, and I can't remember the exact numbers, but it's like 250,000 is what they're anticipating of new residents in our region over the next, I think it's 5 years. So we are growing, the area is growing fast. Let's see, they had some interesting statistics that I actually kept thinking of Mr. Farrell during all of it, because they talk about, housing ownership and everything, and we're back right now. We are back at housing ownership to where we were before the big crash in 2007. We finally have come and evened out for ownership. With that, since we are building the quickest, in 2024, the region built over almost a little over 12,500 units. And where they're excited about is that the units used to be mostly all just single-family homes on larger lots, and that's being balanced out now to where there are attached units and small lot units. And, we're kind of feeling that push here in Galt. And so it's interesting to see that this is pretty standard across the region of what we're feeling here. Anyway, so that was very interesting. What was even more interesting, though, is after that meeting, there was a special SACOG transit meeting. And I will have to say that was one of the most depressing meetings that I've witnessed, because it was all doom and gloom, mainly because of the unfunded mandates that are now coming to fruition. They were passed well before, but they're coming to fruition, such as, they want us all to have either electric or hydrogen busing. No more transit, but there's no funding for that, and there's no access to the fueling, especially the hydrogen. That's not out there very much right now. So, for instance, one of the transit authorities that was there, I think it was YOLO Transit. Their anticipated purchases for needing, as you rotate through the buses, through the vehicles, they're anticipating over the next 5 years to need about $20 million to replace their buses as a regular. And now, because of these new unfunded mandates, they're looking at over $60 million and no extra funding anywhere. And so it's very, words like the Titanic were used through all of this. And so it is a little depressing. I think as a smaller transit unit with SAC-Link, they were not there, unfortunately. I think we're probably in a little bit better of a position, just because because we're so small, we're not, we don't have to buy as many buses. But anyway, it's something that I'll be watching very closely, because it's going to be an uncomfortable next 5 years for transit. So, anyway.
So what you're saying is that California likes to pass laws and force things without having money to pay for them. That sounds like a new concept to me. So those statistics you gave, that was the regional, right?
Yeah, that's for that big region. So not just Sacramento County, it's several counties.
Oh, it's not just Sac County, but several counties.
Yeah.
But this is the area that's fastest, like that area,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Well, glad somebody's excited about that. All right. I actually was not able to attend the CAS meeting. I want to thank Councilman Pratton for filling in for them. That's why you're there. So thank you for filling me in on that and being in my presence. And other than that, I have nothing else to report. So we will move on to the information consent calendar. It is recommended that items 1 through 7 be acted upon simultaneously unless a separate discussion and/or action is requested by a council member. Item 1 is to receive and file warrants for a period ending of November 20th, 2025. Item 2 is the minutes of the regular meeting of November 4th. Item 3 is cancellation of the January 6th, 2026 council meeting.
Item 4 is the treasurer's report for the period ending of October 2025. Item 5 is a letter to Sacramento County regarding the ongoing support of the Regional Unhoused Collaborative. Item 6 is the approval of the Project Expenditure Plan and Transportation Development Act claim for fiscal year FY 25-26. And number 7 is to authorize the city manager to execute a reimbursement agreement with K. Hanoverian Homes of Northern California for the Fairway Oaks subdivision. Do we have any public comment on the consent calendar?
No.
All right. Do we have any items which be pulled by council members on the consent calendar? All right. Well, with that, I'll be looking for a motion to approve items 1 through 7.
Moved.
Moved by Councilmember Reed,
I'll second.
second by Councilmember Pratton. Can I have a roll call, please?
Vice Mayor Sandu?
Aye.
Councilmember Pratton?
Aye.
Councilmember Reed?
Aye.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Aye.
Mayor Farmer?
Aye. Consent calendar is approved 5-0. Moving on to item G, scheduled matters, notice of public hearing. Item tonight is going to be the Sheffield subdivision project. Ms. Carloni?
Mr. Mayor. Mr.
Yes,
Mayor,
sir. Sorry.
I would like to announce my family have a property close to that project within a 500 feet. That address is 910 Edgeland, so I would like to recuse myself from this agenda item. So I will ask the mayor when it's done. I'm gonna leave, and can you ask me to come?
Will do. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, please proceed.
Thank you. Good evening, council members. My name is Kristen Bitts, and I am a principal planner with the Community Development Department. And tonight I will be presenting the Sheffield subdivision project. The proposed project is located in Galt's northeast area specific plan. It is adjacent to East Stockton Boulevard and Canyon Creek Park, which is to the east. It's about 9.5 acres in size and includes a vacant home on the site. It is surrounded by existing residential neighborhoods to the north, to the east, and to the south. The project is proposing 65 single-family lots, and the site is really a true infill opportunity for the city of Galt. And in order to achieve success, the developer is asking the city council to consider resolutions for the initial study and mitigated negative declaration, a general plan amendment, a northeast area specific plan amendment, a rezone inclusive of a plan development standards, and a tentative subdivision map. So as mentioned, the project was subject to an ISM&D, which analyzed the potential impacts on the environment. During the public comment period, which started on September 19th and ended on October 20th, the city received 5 comment letters, which are in the attachments to the staff report. None of the comments, however, addressed or identified new concerns to the environment. So the ISM&D concluded that with the implementation of mitigation measures, all impacts would actually be reduced to a less than significant threshold. As part of the ISM&D, a mitigation monitoring and reporting plan, or MMRP, has been prepared in compliance with CEQA to ensure implementation of the mitigation measures outlined in the ISM&D. I'm not going to read all of them, of course, but I'll give you a couple of examples. The project will be required to participate in the South Sacramento Habitat Conservation Plan. They will be required to get plan approval prior to grading and improvement plan approval. They will also be required to secure a tree permit and pay mitigation fees prior to oak tree removal from the site, and the project will be required to install traffic calming measures. So the first entitlement request is for the general planned amendment. The property is currently designated as low-density residential, which allows single-family dwellings. The proposed designation is medium-density residential, which also allows single-family dwellings, but also allows duplexes. This project, however, will not be building duplexes. The second entitlement is an amendment to the Northeast Area Specific Plan. So currently, the property has a designation of R1CSP, which is a maximum density single-family residential designation, and the plan allows approximately 4.3 dwelling units per acre. The general plan allows up to 6, so it's close, but not quite there. So the development is proposing an amendment for the property to be designated as R2SP, which is a medium-density residential, and that will then increase the maximum allowed units from 6 to 8 dwelling units per acre. I'll also note that these parcels are also the last remaining vacant R1 CSP property in the Northeast Area Specific Plan at this point. The next entitlement is a rezone request along with a planned development overlay. So the current zoning district is R1, oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Do you want me to go back to the? Okay. So the rezone and plan development, the current zoning district is R1A, which is the low-density single-family residential with a minimum lot size of 10,000 square feet and an allowable density range of 0 to 6 dwelling units per acre. With this zoning designation, they could potentially build a maximum of 57 lots. They're proposing to rezone the property to R2PD, medium density residential plan development. In the Galt Municipal Code, the R2 zoning district requires a minimum lot size of 5,500 square feet without a planned development overlay, but smaller lots are allowed with approval of the planned development overlay, which is what the request is. The allowable density range in the medium density zoning district is 5 to 8 dwelling units per acre. So in this example, by approving the rezone, the property could build a maximum of 76 lots with the R2 zoning, but that is not what they're proposing. They're proposing 65. So talking about the plan development, in the staff report and on the screen here is a table that shows what the current R2 development standards are in the code and what the development is proposing for this project. So they are requesting an increase in the maximum lot coverage from 50 to 60%, a decrease in the minimum lot size, a decrease in the minimum street frontage, a decrease in the front setback standard, and a side setback of 5 feet, which isn't a change, but they are asking to allow a 3-foot side setback for plan number 2. This was talked about at the Planning Commission meeting on November 13th. And so after some discussion between the commissioners and the developer agreed to add one additional single-story plan to the development. Initially, they were only going to include 1. So now they're going to include 2, and that plan number 2, in order for it to work, needs a smaller setback. And the reason this came to be is because one of the public comment letters we received, while it was not about environmental concerns, the request from the neighborhood to the north was that we try to incorporate all single-story homes, which I'll show on the map on the next screen, behind the existing single-story homes in Emerald Park Unit 22, which is the Guttridge homes to the north. So the Developer and Planning Commission came to agreement that the project would be conditioned to build all single stories, lots 1 through 11, to line up with the single stories of Emerald Park. But in order to do that, he needed some flexibility with the side setbacks. So the Planning Commission did recommend a 3-foot side setback for floor plan number 2 only. The rear setbacks are going to remain at 10 feet, and the maximum building heights will also remain at 30 feet. This is a copy of the sheet 1 of the tentative subdivision map. I've provided large printed copies to all of you as well. And you can see in the top of the screen there where I've called out Emerald Park Unit 22, which has the existing single-story homes. And then I've outlined where lots 1 through 11 will be conditioned to be single-story homes. The other condition that the Planning Commission placed on the project at the meeting last month was that no duplexes as defined are allowed in the project area. So this is important to note because while the zoning change would allow duplexes, in this case, the project is conditioned that they will not be allowed to build duplexes.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. Could you clarify, how many acres is this project again?
9.5.
Is it exactly 9.5 or like 9 point something?
It
Looking for like
is-
specific number. Sorry. I probably have it here somewhere, but couldn't find it.
I have 9.5 acres.
9.5. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Continue.
I want to note that design review is not part of this entitlement request. So at this time, when I talk about forthcoming single-story floor plans, we actually don't have the floor plans yet. So that'll come to the Planning Commission early next year. So it's not showing. So the Sheffield subdivision project, in addition to the 65 lots, offers some really wonderful off-site improvements. And one of those is the trail extension of what we refer to as staff as South Deadman's Gulch Trail. It's not showing on this screen, but I had it outlined that there were lines drawn where the arrows are pointing to. But essentially, the trail is going to extend to the north side of the subdivision and wrap around, coming down to Leonia and going across south of the park. As you can see here, in addition to the trail being extended, which is wonderful for bike riders and pedestrians, Leonia Drive is finally going to get an off-site connection, which will really help with traffic circulation to that corridor. So now travelers can get from this subdivision or the subdivision to the south, the Ashboro subdivision, they can get over to the east easier because they'll be able to drive all the way through Leonia up to Cedar Flat Avenue. Also, Park Ridge Drive will be a dead end. It will not go through the subdivision. On that note, I want to say that when Emerald Park Company built Unit 22, which is the subdivision to the north, they did try to obtain this 9.5 acre parcel, and they weren't successful in purchasing it. But I talked to them recently, and had they purchased the property, Park Ridge Drive would have likely continued south into the proposed Sheffield subdivision area and then wrapped around and connected to Leonia to the south. In this case, however, we were able to keep that neighborhood somewhat separate with the dead end and then provide the 2 connection points needed for Sheffield, one off the frontage road and then again, one south at Leonia Drive. This gives a little bit more detail on the trail extension. So I know a question was asked what the connection is going to look like. I don't have a photo rendering or drawing, but this gives the section from the tentative subdivision map, which is also shown on sheet 2 in front of you. So the trail will be 10 foot wide, and then it's got a 2-foot shoulder on each side. This view is showing a house on the right-hand side. So the houses that are along here will have open view fencing, which is the 6-foot open view fence. So this is the house, this will be the fence, this will be the trail, And then on portions, there'll be a 4-foot open view fence. And then down here is the existing gulch area with the grass and trees and wetland areas. So for the project findings, for the general plan amendment, you're asked to find consistency with the general plan and the public necessity, convenience, and general welfare. For the specific plan amendment and rezone, we're looking for general plan conformance and public necessity, convenience, and general welfare. And for the tentative subdivision map, we look for findings that show consistency with the general plan, with our housing needs, and with passive or natural heating and cooling opportunities. So in the staff report, we've outlined a total of 11 general plan policies that substantiate the findings that Planning Commission and City Council are required to make. I'm not going to read all 11, but I'm going to highlight some of the most important ones. And the first one is consistency with Circulation Policy 1.12, which states that the city shall encourage grid-like street systems, which the Sheffield tentative subdivision map absolutely demonstrates. It is a grid street system. The second policy is Housing Element Policy 2.1, which encourages infill housing development on vacant and underutilized parcels. It's almost as though that specific policy was written for this project. It is an infill project. It is vacant aside from the existing home, and it is underutilized. It's time for it to be developed. The third policy is Housing Element Policy 1.2, which requires the city to provide a variety of residential densities and housing types to meet the needs of all economic segments of Galt. This is very important. It's our housing element requirement. I know we've been in front of you before with the housing elements and the policies, but these are some of the most important policies staff wanted to highlight in support of the project. And that concludes my presentation. The City Council is recommended to adopt the resolution approving the initial study and mitigated negative declaration and the MMRP, adopt the resolution approving the GPA, adopt a resolution approving an amendment to the Northeast Area Specific Plan, adopt an ordinance approving the rezone from R1A to R2PD, and along with the proposed development standards, and finally, adopt a resolution approving the tentative subdivision map. Thank you, and if you have any questions, I am here to answer them.
All right, thank you, Ms. Spitz. I will, I'm going to open the public hearing. So the public hearing is open, and I will, we will ask for any public comment here in a moment. I'd like to open up the discussion to the council first, and I'll kick this off with a couple questions that I have. So just to clarify, the existing street, Park Ridge Drive, I was looking on my phone here. So it currently dead ends to the south, and that's going to remain a dead end into the new development?
Correct. It will not connect into the new development.
Okay, so basically the connections, so the only connections we're looking at from this development would be, well, technically it's not even a connection, but we would see Leonia, which interestingly enough dead ends to the west, and also dead ends, there's like a gap, so that gap will be bridged,
Correct.
right?
So,
For cross?
right. So that's this area here. That's
Okay.
the offsite improvement of Leonia, and then
Okay.
the subdivision will open up here at this point
So,
and to the frontage road.
got it. So, so Leona will continue east to west, and then the current spot right across at the far corner of the Ashboro, I'll call it the Ashboro development, will connect upwards, right, to the north. The little Leona comes across, and then there will be a connection, right, to the new street.
Right here.
Yeah,
Yes, but
exactly.
Ashboro is right here, so this street will not connect.
Yeah, I'm just referring to the subdivision. That
Oh, okay.
little subdivision is the Ashboro. I know it's not called that, but yeah. So basically, so we're gonna have, so the two connections will basically be at Leonia, and there'll be an outlet to Stockton Boulevard, correct?
Correct.
So I'm trying to understand the lot reduction because,
You said it's 9.5 acres, so doing some math, 43,506, that's 413,000 square foot of property. If you divide that by 65 lots, that gives me 6,300 average. 6,300 averages seems like a normal size to me, but you were showing some numbers like in the 3,000-ish.
That's correct. So there is a range of lot sizes for this project. So the minimum lot size, I believe, is 3825. Yes, 3825. But there are lots as big as just over 7,000 square feet.
Okay. I was saying, yeah, so if the average is 6,300, there's got to be.
So there's a wide range there. I mean, we're talking about almost a 4,000 square foot difference, maybe closer to 3, just in those two lot
And you have to
numbers
put a
I just
road in
gave you.
there, too, so you're taking that.
Well, you're correct. Yeah, thank you. I didn't really think about that. Yeah, I guess they have it on there. It's just so small to read the square footages, but I see a lot of 4,000s, 3. So basically, the bottom line is that normally for R1C, like typically so when I look at like I don't know what their R1C I would assume, but like we're seeing a lot of the subdivisions that are being built now, like Liberty Ranch and Elliott and, all these, those are kind of the normal build size, I would say, that we're seeing today in today's developments.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot more R1C, which is 6,500 square feet or more.
Right. So typically what we're seeing, what I'm getting at is typically what we're seeing with developments that we're seeing around town that are happening is somewhere in the 6,000-ish range of
Or higher.
lot sizes, right?
Oh, well, aside from Greenwood Cottages behind the former
Well, yeah,
Rite
that's
Aid.
the
Or
exception.
Parlin Oaks is the other exception. So not, I guess, all.
Yeah. All right, I have some comments, but I'm going to save those to see if we have more questions. Anybody at council want to jump in? Questions?
I'll save mine for after public comment.
Okay.
I'll do the same.
I just have a couple questions that aren't, I don't think, red flags, but you mentioned traffic calming measures. What are they going to be required to do? What kind of traffic? Is it just
Give
bike
me
lanes?
just a
or-
moment.
Well, those aren't really traffic calming, though.
Well, they think they are, but I don't think they are either.
They're going to have somebody out there going, slow down.
Well, since, it's been on topic for speed
Yeah,
bumps or whatever.
thank you for bringing it up. I
curious.
saw that and was going to ask the same thing. I jotted it down. While Ms. Bitts looks that up, we can go ahead and go to public comment just to speed things along. Do we have any public comment?
Ms. Valencia?
Hi there. So it's my first time here, and I just want to ask a couple questions and maybe get some. On the letter that I received, I live in the Ashboro subdivision, but I don't think it's called that. 27 oak trees are going to be removed, and after I was looking while you guys were talking, I noticed that 9 trees are going to be saved, and 17, if I'm doing my math right, are going to be removed. And some of the trees, majority of the trees are in good condition. So I'm just kind of like lost as how you can justify removing that many trees for the subdivision, especially where I live. The tree is against the fence. I noticed it's supposed to be saved. I don't know if this is a final map and it will be saved, but my tree does great for shade. It's great for the quality of air. It's great for the traffic with 99. It's so loud, and we've used that tree, utilized that tree forever, and it helps with our electricity. So I'm like, wow, how can you justify 27 protected oak trees to be removed? Now it's 17, I think, that are going to be removed. I just want to know how you came up with that and how the city said, yes, let's do this. We'll take the fine and pay it and go with it. And then my second thing is, you did a great job doing presentation about the traffic, but I'm going to disagree with you on the. Oh.
Yeah, just
okay,
direct
all
your
right.
comments to me. It's fine. Yeah.
I'm going to disagree with you about Lionel Drive being the throughway. 99 is horrible, and Stockton Street is horrible. So how are you going to fix that? How are you going to have new houses coming in? And I know that we all live in Galt, so we all know 99 is a mess. Every day I look out and say, am I going to go to Elk Grove or am I going to Lodi? You know, that's my choice. Or I couldn't even come to Galt one day. I was like, couldn't come into town because it was so bad. So you're adding houses, but you're not giving a resolution to Stockton Street. Stockton Street is horrible. The police can tell you it's horrible. It is always packed. People get off 99, they fly down Stockton Street. If 99's backed up, then Stockton Street's backed up. So I did not hear anything what the resolution of extra houses and the extra people on Stockton Street. What are you going to do about that? And if Lionel Drive is a throwaway, then it's going to cause the residential area of Ashrow to have more people driving down that street really fast and to get to Stockton Street and 99. So those are things that the citizens over there, they probably are like, yeah, what the heck are you guys going to do about the traffic? This is not a resolution just to connect Lionel Street. There is 99's bad, and I want to know what the city's going to do to address that. And I want to know if the map that they just sent, that just put in, are some of the trees going to be saved, and is it going to be permanent? That we don't have to worry about that. And I don't understand, the trees on the fence line should not be removed. They are protected oak trees by the state of California. I don't understand how we can do that. And that's my comment. I wanted to put that in your guys' head. So she did a great job. She did her homework, but she doesn't live there. So I thank you.
Thank you.
No more public comment.
Do we have anything that specifies which trees are going to be removed? Because I am looking at the satellite map, but there's a lot of trees that are right on the property line, like the perimeter. I see a few out in the middle, which I assume those are going to go for sure, but
There is an exhibit in the conceptual landscape plan, which would have been, I think it's attachment 8.
is there any way we can bring that up on the screen if that's not possible?
Are you guys can you share attachment 8?
In the staff
In
report?
the staff
Yeah,
report?
from the management folder.
Yeah, I'm just wanting to see the public can see it.
Well, that's,
What page in the staff report is that?
Right. That's, starts on 77.
Page 77 of the packet?
I guess. Hold on. It just disappeared. Where'd it go? There it goes. Yeah, it starts addressing trees on.
Actually,
with the
that's
map
not,
on page 77. And into 78.
it's not in the conceptual landscape plan, but I do have an exhibit, and it does also talk about the health of each tree. So I wouldn't say most are in good condition. They were looked at by an arborist, so it may appear good to some, but depending on the report. So the report dictates, and things that are fair and poor are the ones that typically get targeted for removal. And the project is conditioned to pay oak tree mitigation fees prior to removal. And while the project did start out with a relatively high number, I had spoke to Ms. Valencia before in the past, and we were able to save the tree behind her house. I think it's number 32 when I can find the right exhibit. So yes, some trees are going to be removed, some trees are going to be saved, and the developer had told me once they get dirt moving, there could be opportunity to save more once they're out there getting closer to grading activities.
Yeah, I mean, these are important questions because, from our experience, we lowered Dry Creek Oaks. There were some trees taken out that weren't even supposed to be removed. So to be honest with you, I don't trust developers like zero. So I just want to be very adamant. I mean, I know if I had a great tree behind my house that was deemed healthy, and I get that it could be on someone else's property, so it's, it's not, but I just don't, I don't want to be in a situation where, there's like, oh yeah, we're going to save this tree, and then we have a resident come back and saying, oh, you know what, actually, I went out there and bulldozed it down. They decided, oh, that one wasn't actually going to stay after all. I'm very leery of, I personally would like to see a map of which trees are specified to be pulled. I'm just curious. So there's 27 and 17 are going to be removed, so they're leaving 10. Is that the right math of it, or?
It is, yeah, I think, hold on, I think it was actually only 21 that were proposed to be removed. And it was reduced down to 17. I'm looking for the tree exhibit. Give me just a moment, please.
While you're looking that up, I do want to make a comment that I was happy that the Planning Commission had the foresight to condition the requirement of not having the double-story homes up against existing single stories. That's like a huge pet peeve of mine, and if somebody would like to speak, you need to fill out a card and you need to come up to public comment. The hearing is still open. If you'd like to speak, just fill out a card. Yep, yeah, or either side, and bring it up to the clerk. Thank you, sir.
The map, there is an exhibit.
Do you, and also, and I don't want to ask you a second question while you're still looking at my first question, but I also would like to know, is there, I know we haven't seen architectural and we're not going to see that tonight, but I'm just curious, is there some sort of range on square footage of the homes that, I'm just curious.
We haven't gotten that far yet. On sizes,
Okay.
architecture,
Well,
styles.
see, then this is the problem with this kind of
Because-
thing. I hate when projects come to us and at first, and then we're asked to approve something, but we don't even have all the information. Like, we don't even know how big the house is gonna be, like nothing. And so this is the frustrating part, is that we're asked to approve something blindly with only knowing the size of the lots, but not knowing, because for me to for me to say yes to a project, I don't want a citizen coming back to me in a year from now and saying, look at these things are hideous and they're huge and there's no, I don't know. And then I have to back up my vote on it. I don't know.
Mayor,
That
may I
actually,
comment on it?
Sure.
Yeah, that is the standard process, right? That's the way it works. But I think the important thing we've learned so far in the last year is just what the Planning Commission did in this one, where they did add the no duplexes. They added it into the document. The single stories, they added it into the document. The only one they didn't add in was the quantity of lots, which, something I'll probably propose when we get there to possibly lock that in somehow. I know that's not always standard procedure, but it definitely, if these guys sell this off to somebody else, then we got a little more teeth to keep that from changing, because the people who would buy it now have that in the document. That's where we went wrong on the last one. There was none of that. Those were all promises, but nothing was documented, so.
Right. Anyways, back to my tree question. Did we figure that out yet or no?
We have one more public comment.
Go ahead, we'll take that while waiting.
Craig and Cindy, and I apologize, can you say your last name? Uhas.
I was gonna say Clark Griswold. Just wanted to thank, this is the first time at the City of Galt. Appreciate you guys bringing us here, able to put a couple words together for you. We are, Cindy and I are residents and first time home buyers there on 737 Park Ridge. So we're north of there. So we were, 7+ years ago, we're under the hopeful impression that our subdivision would actually flow through Park Ridge and take that area. And that's what Mike Goodridge was hoping to do. So again, time changes, things change, but we would like to see a low density project there. Being that we're all of our neighbors and everything like that say the same, we want to keep it to not where we have, and plus two, I know they, on the project there, they were saying to home 11. Well, we're the third house is up, so if there were any 2 stories, they're gonna be looking at our backyard. You know, so we would like to have some privacy on that end of it, you know, but,
Yeah, because all the leaves are on the trees, it's probably not a big deal, but now with all the leaves coming off, if there's 2-story, that you'll be able to look right into our backyards for the probably the first 3-4 homes. And so if they're gonna build double stories, it would be great if they started at lot 16 instead of at 11, right on our fence line.
and yeah.
Yeah, because we just feel like we'd love it all to be one-story homes. But the 2-story, if they really, really want to do that, if they can go to 16, that would be it would be very helpful to us. And we're actually,
We'd like to see low density there.
Yeah,
I mean,
low
just
density,
because of the areas.
absolutely.
And, you know, there's a lot of homes being built down Walnut, and then until you get all the way again over to the new high school and such too, is really nice areas and a lot larger homes, and we'd like to see that.
Yeah.
We really would.
And we're happy that it is going to dead end there, that we're actually not going to be open now, because as the woman spoke before us, the traffic on that road is horrible, and if that road was by our place, it would have been people diverting, trying to get around the traffic. So yeah, we appreciate.
Thank you.
Yes, appreciate it a lot. Thank you for all your work.
Thank you for your comments. Can someone specify to me again which lots we're talking about that were conditioned by the planning commission for single versus double?
1 through 11.
You need this one now?
It was up there. There it is.
Okay. So lots 13 and 14, 13 and on, or 12 and
13
on.
to 16 is about here, and this is where I'll show you, I took some measurements, and this is kind of hard to see. So this is lot 12,
Okay.
right? And this is where the trail is going to extend. It's hard to see the numbers on here, but this line right here is a distance to an existing 2-story home, and this is an existing 2-story home. He's talking about these homes here and lots 12 through, this is approximately where lot 16 is, so that this segment should also be 2-story homes. But this distance from the back, sorry.
So the little purple triangle at the bottom of there's a gap there because that's the trail extension? Like right there where your pointer is, right? Go down a little bit?
Here?
No, over and down, straight down, right there. That square right there.
Is
what
lot 12.
That's lot 12.
Right. So everything over here has been conditioned to be single story.
Okay, I'm confused on the trail extension though. Explain that to me. How does the,
It's a 90-degree turn there.
Sorry, so the trail is going to extend, it's
Okay.
here, it exists already right here. It's
Okay.
behind these homes. It's going to extend here and then go down
Oh,
and
so
connect
there's-
to Leonia.
okay, I get it now. So there is a buffer between the new subdivision and the
Correct.
property lines don't butt up against each other, correct?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
So Mayor,
Yes.
we do have the developer here and maybe could help answer some of the tree questions
Okay.
in advance. And I don't know if you'd like to come up and say a few words.
Good evening, council members. My name is Aaron Ross Swain, and I'm the founder and owner of Fieldstone Communities, and can address the tree question in a minute, but just to give you some background on who we are and what we do. We're a regional, small growing home builder. I founded the company in 2019, and we build throughout the Sacramento region, Auburn, Roseville, Elk Grove, and soon to be Galt. We will be the builder on this subdivision. We've already started the final engineering at risk so that we're in a position to start this spring. And conceptual architecture is underway, and you had a question about the square footage ranges. They're gonna range from 1580 up to 2,200 square feet, 2 single stories, and 3 2-stories. We already talked about the single story earlier, but, you know, they really do complement one another. And, you know, we are targeting that price-sensitive home buyer to add to the diversity of the housing stock here in Galt. As far as trees are concerned, I believe that we are removing 18 trees and we're saving 9 trees. And we're specifically saving the tree behind our neighbor's house here, tree number 31. So we did have that request come before us early on, and we've done our best to preserve as many trees as possible. And it was said earlier that there may be an opportunity to preserve more trees, and that is in fact the case. As we plot homes on those lots, depending upon the floor plans, there might be enough space to, again, save future trees.
What was there was 3 2-stories and how many single-story plans?
2 single-story plans.
2 single-story and 3 2-story, 1,580 to 22. Okay, and then sorry, just trying to look at like 5 things at one time here. You made a comment that you guys are going to be the builder of this
Yes.
project. Would you be willing to put that on paper that you're not going to sell the project to somebody else? I mean, it's a valid question.
Yeah, I mean, we're invested. I mean, the train is down the track. We're doing the architecture. It's in our business plan. So.
I'm just trying to look up real quick. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find this on a Zillow map. I'm just curious what the average lot sizes are in the like the Park Ridge area. Those ones that are just for curious.
To the south?
Yeah, or to the north.
To the north?
Not so Park Ridge, but I'm sorry. I got like 5 maps here, and I'm with my phone open and my computer, and the homes on Need Court. So on the south side of Need Court. Just curious what some of those square footages are on those lots.
Those are zoned R1C.
Yeah, I know that. I know that. I'm just curious.
I'm looking.
Sorry, and I'm looking too. I'm just trying to find the.
If I remember correctly, in the staff report, didn't it say that this is that the lots are in between the sizes between the development to the south and then the one to the north is larger? So this was kind of leading into small, medium, large lots. Is that, did I read that correctly?
Yes, so the homes to the north, Unit 22, they range in size of, I'm trying to find the smallest one. So R1C is a minimum 6,500, but I think most of them are about 8,500 or larger. And then
Yeah, I found it. The ones on Need Court are about 9,500. At least the one I clicked on. So that gives me an idea.
And then the homes to the south, those lots are 3,500.
And the homes, it looks like 1,900 square feet, roughly, on one of them. I'm just trying to get an idea of
Right, but
assimilation between
Right. It's hard to do that with Emerald Park Company because, as you may recall, they were a semi-custom home builder. So there's going to be not even 2 similar floor plans in this group of lots here, right? So the sizes could range quite a bit depending on modifications builders made at the time.
But basically what I'm seeing is they're going to be very similar because I'm looking at the 3 homes on Need Court that are going to back up against the new subdivision, and they're roughly 1,900 square feet. He gave us a range of 15 to 22, so we could be in the same. So they're not going to be that dissimilar, honestly. The lot sizes will be
Are going to be
dissimilar.
smaller, correct.
Yeah, but I mean, I moved from a subdivision that my neighbor had like a 15,000 square foot lot, and mine was like 7. So I mean, that happens. You get back cul-de-sac lots and those types of things. There's always a variance, but questions for council? Any thoughts?
Just a quick trail question. I don't know why I'm stuck on that.
That's okay.
The trail coming behind the original homes, the Partridge homes, I'm just going to call that, is there a connection from the actual homes to that? Or how do you get onto that trail, I guess?
You can access it, there's this little basin park right here along the frontage road, so they can access it there. I don't believe the homes were built with direct access. Now, if somebody put in a gate separately, that does happen throughout the city on some of the trails when they back up to the trail.
There
Okay,
is no direct access.
but there's
You
no-
have
So
to-
will there be a direct access? I guess I'm trying to get access from the original or the north subdivision onto that trail down here at the south. Is where that road ends, where Partridge ends, can they hop over to the trail?
Can we
You
go
would
to,
have to go through that basin area,
yeah, can we
by
go
the
to the
park
other?
into the bridge.
Thank you.
And then that's where it would start, if you're in the Park Ridge area.
So you're gonna have to go down to Leonia, go over, or go east, and then go over to that bridge? Okay. Is there any, I mean, because there's a park right there. It just seems like if there's some way to connect these two developments
They are,
to that park right across,
they are connected by a bridge.
but they have to go down all the way around and,
Right, actually, this is gonna be the first trail system that's actually a loop. Everything seems to dead end. This is gonna be
Yeah.
able to loop through. You'll be able to start at Emerald Vista Park, go down through the back, come up through Canyon Creek and back up, and it would loop all the way around.
that's great. I mean, we need that. We need that connection. I was just trying to get a connection from inside those neighborhoods, but if they have to walk down Leona, but can they get out Partridge? They're not, because they're gonna hit a house, right, and they're gonna hit
They would have to go through the back end of the.
so they're gonna have to go
Park Ridge
all the way out their neighborhood and go around.
area. Correct, or come on to Lyonia, and then that connects down, and you'd go down to the end of where that bridge is, on Cedar Flats, I believe it is.
Okay,
Then you'd cross right there, go back on the other side.
okay. Okay.
You know, I was just noticing, I know that there was some comment made earlier, that there have been hopes to have, you know, a similar, like a Gut Ridge neighborhood. I mean, I can tell you just for the public, those of us on this council and planning commission would love to see more subdivisions like Gut Ridges, but the reality is that's just not what's being built nowadays. And as much as we've tried to fight for such things, especially lately with some of the projects that have come before us, to get anything close to that is almost impossible, it seems like now. But what I did notice that you have, and this is of course based on Zillow, so I'm only going by whatever, but you have homes in the Ashboro area, they're showing numbers, values of somewhere between 450,000, somewhere 400, and then you have houses up on Need Court that are showing some of the values of 750 and 800. So you literally have houses that are literally so dissimilar between that neighborhood and that neighborhood, and we're now developing the middle. So I think that honestly, what I'm seeing by these square footages, and it will probably relate to what the values of those homes are going to be, this is kind of a transition neighborhood to go from that to that. I think, you know, they're very different. I think in a perfect world, we would love, you know, people that live in this area would love to see it remain a field, but the reality is infill projects are almost the best case scenario for the city because we have to provide those numbers and we don't want to see more sprawl. I'm happy to see that Park Ridge is not going to go through. I think that's actually a huge benefit to that neighborhood. That's a huge blessing in my opinion, for sure. There was some comments expressed about traffic on 99, which we have no control over, and we're, you know, fighting that battle right now as we speak to get some improvements on that. But Stockton Boulevard, what are the traffic? So you asked what the traffic mitigation measures were. Do we
yeah.
figure that out yet?
Yes. So in the MMRP, they list potential traffic calming measures. And those measures include marked crosswalks, countdown signal timers, curb extensions, speed tables, raised crosswalks, or median islands.
So
things of
speed
that nature.
tables, so speed bumps. right? Those are a form of speed bump, right?
I don't have an engineer here
think those are the squared off,
to tell
yeah,
me, because I
right.
thought there was a difference between speed bumps and humps and
humps,
tables, right? So can I follow
Do
up
we
with
have
you on
any,
that?
so I'm curious about that though. I mean, and what street, do we have any idea where those are supposed to, like, is there any idea about somewhere some of that's going to be placed at? On Leonia or somewhere else?
At this, at this point, we don't, there's nothing that we're seeing yet. Obviously, you know, we have a program that we've talked about, and what we would do is, as these things are coming in, we'll take the traffic count, and obviously, whatever the process that we decide to go with for the speed control, you know, then we can bring that back to you for approval.
Well, I appreciate that, but you're asking us to approve a project tonight that says in there that one of the conditions is you're gonna put speed measures, and nobody can tell me how many speed measures, where they're gonna go, and all I'm hearing is that we're gonna look at it later and come back. And I'm so gun shy of approving anything that's not in writing anymore. Like literally, I'll just say no to this project tonight. Now, it'll probably pass with a no from me, but unless I get everything in writing, absolutely, like where stuff's gonna be, sorry, and I'm sorry, Chris, but you have to understand the stuff that's been going on leading up to this. I would like to have at least a general idea of where these speed measures are gonna go and like something, not just, we'll have to figure it out.
And also, it might not be speed tables. There's a list of items here to incorporate into the improvement plans, and
Okay.
I'm guessing improvement plans are still under development, so that's,
We just submitted our first set.
oh, okay. Well, thank you.
And where that crosswalk you talked about possibly, is that across at?
It doesn't say in the
mouth?
MMRP, it just gives options. And so that is one of the options. A marked crosswalk is an option. It doesn't tell me where, how long, where it's gonna go. It's just a potential option.
So I'm just thinking of like what we did with Adair, where we put in these, you know, this process of getting things right. We're in the process of doing that. My thought is you put a new subdivision and you connect Leonia. So, I mean, I don't even know, just thinking like you would have to do a speed check to figure out what the traffic flow is gonna be. So that's gonna take a while. So then you gotta go through that whole process. So I mean, really, it'd be hard to foresee any kind of speed measures or anything, regardless whether it's a sign or it's a speed table or whatever, being put anywhere near the subdivision.
So I think I got to
Anytime
ask a
soon.
question, like, I'm not clear, like, where the speed control would be. Is it in the subdivision or is it an off-site speed control? So if it's in the subdivision, it is a smaller, you know, a shorter road distance, and if they're just trying to, you know, prevent speeding from in the subdivision, my hunch would be is that the list of mitigation measures is a choose one. You know, so it's, you know, a list of measures that they can pick, and I don't know if they want to commit to one this evening or be conditioned to.
Well, I'd almost be afraid to commit to one because we don't really know what the traffic's going to be until it's full. So if we make them put in speed tables now, they may not be needed. And now we're stuck with speed tables that need to be taken out or something, so I don't know.
We typically have a good, I want to say, estimate of traffic. I mean, there is some science behind the traffic data that they produce in the studies, so it does give us a good range of what the ultimate traffic would be generated from the subdivision and then which direction they go.
Can you pull up the tentative map, please?
Will this work? Yes.
So my civil engineer, KCPSD, just pointed out that these knuckle corners here
Okay.
are, by definition, traffic calming. We'll have a stop sign right here at this intersection. These street sections here are generally too short to put in traffic calming measures in there.
Okay.
So just inherently, it's not set up to be a drag strip within the subdivision.
So there is gonna be a stop sign at Sainer, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it.
Correct.
So between the intersection of Sobey and Sainer?
But there's gonna. Yeah. Crosswalk? Okay.
So crosswalk north to, crosswalk which runs north to south, But the stop sign is where Sobey Street dead ends into Sainer. Is that correct? Sorry to ask so many questions, gentlemen. It's just that we don't want to be back here in 2 years from now, or 2 years, in 2 years from now with people asking to do something in their neighborhood for speeding. So we're trying to be proactive.
Appreciate that. Casey Fikert, TSD Engineering. Thanks for having me this evening. And yes, when we're looking at traffic calming devices for on-site measures, the knuckles are natural traffic calming devices because you have signs coming up to them. They're a 90-degree turn. So there's your already 2 of your traffic calming devices. The third one that was mentioned, Kristen mentioned that another option is a striped or a colored or stamped crosswalk is another natural traffic calming device. And that is the one that you're talking about heading north to south right there at that intersection. So with the lengths of your roads being as short as they are, we are already meeting all the criteria for traffic calming devices with the design that's up there.
Okay.
So we are not proposing additional speed tables. We are not going to be proposing anything additional on top of what's already being shown.
So here's just a wild idea I was going to throw out here. So, Council, you remember the discussion we were having with the Dareway recently? One of the big problems with them was the people taking that corner really fast off Stockton Boulevard onto Adair, right? And so one of the measures that was presented to us.
And speeding all the way down the street, all the way up to
Shorter-
that 90-degree
shorter than that.
turn. Yeah, all the way up to that 90-degree turn, right behind the school.
Right.
So,
But one of the.
I get what he's saying, but I don't know if it's just a Galt thing, but just because the road turns does not slow people down in this city.
I can totally foresee speeding on this. People are going to cut onto Stockton Boulevard. They're going to speed down the street. They're going to make that hook, and then they probably won't get that much speed on the back street, but then down to Leone. I can see that. I've been looking at the map, and that just looks like a total cut through. I don't know. I just keep thinking of Adair Way. So I know in Adair, one of the things that was proposed to us was they were going to put that little pork chop right there where it exits out into
The
Stockton
entrance.
Boulevard, just to keep people from cutting that corner really fast. I would like to see something like that conditioned. It's a very small thing, just in my opinion.
So we're open to working with staff during our final engineering to incorporate additional traffic calming measures where it makes sense.
I would be supportive. I would be supportive of this project, and I'm just thinking through this right now, with some commitment of some sort of traffic calming measure. You guys determine what it is on that stretch of Sainer Street between Stockton Boulevard and where it makes the hook. Something on there, whether it's a speeds, just something. I'm not saying what. I'm just saying some measure. Something.
Sure.
And also possibly to include something at the entrance point like we're trying to do on our Dare Way. I think anything exit out into Stockton, because what it is, and I know you're new to this conversation, but what we've had is we have an existing street a little bit north of where you're going to be at, and people are coming off Stockton Boulevard and they're hooking that corner into the neighborhood. So we have like the neighbors that are the first couple of houses in, having people just come around that corner really fast. So we've been proposing putting like a small little island there so they can't hook the corner like that. It's a small measure, but it can do a lot.
And we've done speed tests on that road, and some people are getting in excess of 65 miles an hour.
Coming off that, because Stockton, yeah. So
that's why it would just be, it's very similar to this, almost the same exact setup. That's the mayor's concern on that one, is that it literally almost looks the same if you were to put it up on a map right next to this one.
So what I'm saying is I would be more inclined to approve things tonight if we could see a couple of those small things. They might be small. I think they're very small asks, honestly, but I think that they'll be big things to the people who eventually will live here. And none of them are here now, but I can tell you in a year from now, we might people, somebody here saying, I'm John, I live on Sainer Street, and I'm going to be like, here we go. So I'm just throwing it out there now.
So we're good with that, working with staff on some traffic calming measures during our final engineering plan check, which we're going through right now.
Matt, you had something you wanted to talk about with lots or something?
No, the only comment I had was just I would disagree with you on the road coming through on Partridge. Just just due to consistency and issues that we've talked about before, that road was made to go through. It's got a dead end right there, and now we're gonna cut it off. So, you know, the next time we do one, we're gonna put it in, we're not gonna put it in. So just wanna make it public. I'm not gonna not vote no on it because of it.
So you're talking about the dead end from Park Ridge?
Yes.
What about it? I'm confused.
It's a dead end road that was designed to go through when this road was put in. And now all of a sudden, we're not putting it in.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So we're setting ourselves up.
You're setting yourself up where if somebody's gonna come forward and say, well, on this such and such project, they left Park Ridge a dead end, why can't we do that on our street? I agree that the dead end is kind of a blessing. It's an anomaly, in my opinion. But I'm not gonna lobby to open it. I think you guys are gonna get a big gift with having that, to be honest with you. I won't be on the council when those people come and ask for the next project to have their dead end. Maybe you will be. Do we have any other public comment? The hearing is still open.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Reed?
Yeah, I have a few concerns. Number one, Ms. Bitts said that that's one of the last, Zone 1As that are up there in that northern area. So, and with us having, looking for variety in our plans, that kind of, there's a lot of R1C up there already. And now we're asking to rezone it now also to an R1C, where we're looking for, that variety. Another one of my concerns is, to be honest, the side setback, the 3 feet. Being in public safety like I've been, 3 feet is not a lot of room if you've got firemen and all these people trying to get to the back side or the side of your house, especially if that's where you're going to store your trash cans. Now nobody's getting past there. So the 6 feet, okay, still gives you 3 feet if you put your trash cans there. But if you got the 3 foot side setback and you put your trash cans on the side there, that is going to be causing all kinds of access problems. Plus, that means, some of your houses are going to be not even 6 feet apart. And so now we're talking about other possible issues. If one of the houses catches on fire, it makes it easier for the next one to catch on fire. And there's a possibility of, insurance being higher because of those. And I know that there's a lot of things that they can do in the building between what they build them out of and everything else. Those are just some of my concerns where we're looking for variety, but we can't say we're looking for variety and then sit here and rezone everything to R1C. And then the access those are my 2 big issues.
Now that you're mentioning that, I think my I think my neighborhood only has like a 3 or 4 foot though. I'm thinking when I walk down my side gate, it's not 6 feet. It's probably like 3 or 4. Of course, my house was built in the 60s, but I'm just thinking out loud.
I think Kristen would like to.
Sorry.
I was going to respond. Thank you for the comments. First, I will say that the project is actually being rezoned to R2 from R1A, and the Guttridge subdivision was also originally R1A and was rezoned to R1C. So there has been some movement in the area already. So this is an R2 zone, not an R1C. So it's a little bit higher of a density. It's medium instead of low. And then as to the setbacks, I can't speak on behalf of our building official, but we know that there are requirements and options in the building codes that help us work with less setbacks so that safety is achieved, right? We don't want that either. The developer doesn't want that. So I believe there's certain measures that can be put in place due to the reduced setback. And in this case, the reduced setback was really a compromise between the planning commission's wants and the developer in order to make sure that we got those single stories on lots 1 through 11. And to do that, we needed the developer to, 1, add an additional single-story floor plan, which he did, but he needed that reduced setback to achieve a floor plan that was going to have enough variation between the two. So it wasn't just 2 1,500 square foot single stories, right? Because we want the variation. We want that street scene to look different from house to house. So I hope that helps.
Yeah.
Answers that.
Go ahead.
And I just got my letters and numbers wrong. That's all.
Oh, it's okay. It's kind of confusing because the Northeast area designation is R1C. So that, I think,
and so I'm
that's
just
the
looking
confusion.
at the zoning map, and I'm looking at the colors, right? I'm not even going to talk about letters and numbers. Okay. And there are a lot of certain colors, and those are not the ones that are labeled R1A. That's all I'm getting at, really, is that it appears to me that everything east and north of basically the railroad tracks, there is hardly any R1A in that area, and that's what I was getting at.
Got it. And that would be true. Elliott Homes built much of the homes to the east, and those are mostly zoned R1C until you get a little further north and we get into the R2s around River Oaks.
So it's my understanding. So thank you for explaining that compromise again. I get that. I get that the Planning Commission was very adamant about having the single stories up against and I appreciate them going to bat for that because that's a huge deal.
Right.
It really is. And I think that the neighbors are surrounding this project, and that's a big deal when you look at infill projects. Is how is this going to assimilate to their surroundings? So, that's one of the conditions that we've been thinking about putting in when we do objective design standards is to make sure that we mesh up single with single and double double and all that. I do understand that they had to, tweak those setbacks in order to make that. So what is the normal setback? So originally it was going to be what, and you had to make it to 3 feet. What were they originally? 4 feet, 5 feet, 6? What was the reduction?
The side setback in our code is 5 feet.
Okay. So it was 5, and they're saying they have to reduce it to 3 because of the
means to get a little bigger single-story floor plan.
Right. When you're putting a single story on a same lot as a double story, you have a bigger footprint with the single story. I get that. Yeah. So
That, again, is only applicable to the
plan two.
one floor plan, the plan 2, not all 5 floor plans.
right. Okay. But it would be safe to assume that lots 1 through 11, which are getting the single stories, is it safe to assume that all of those would be getting that side reduction or not? Or that's not even true.
We're going to rotate Plan 1, Plan 2, Plan 1, Plan 2.
So out of those 11 lots,
You'll have
it's
maybe
possible that
4,
some of them would
5
still have.
will have the
okay.
Plan
okay.
2. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I would like to make a comment regarding the project in general. Look, I mean, a lot of us will sit up here and we'll have people from the public will say, wish we could just continue building homes like Guthridge, for example. We have 9,000 square, whatever. But the reality is, looking at the Zillow webpage, I mean, you have houses in Park, Need Court, and those, like I said, they're $800,000, $900,000. A real problem we have in this community right now, people could say that they don't want medium density stuff, but the reality is that is a huge problem in our town that we don't have those densities. I have 3 daughters who could not afford to buy a home in this, and if all Galt was all R1C, they would never live here because they can't afford an $800,000 home. The reality is we need some little bit higher density projects, and these aren't low income projects. They're not apartments. They're not any of that stuff. These are going to be, I'm assuming, good quality homes, as good as anybody else is building. And because they're smaller, 1,500, some of them, and smaller lots, they're going to be a little more affordable than an 8,000 square foot lot with a 2,800 square foot home on it. If we don't create that diversity, and Ms. Rodriguez stated earlier about how we have some of the highest rent areas around here. I mean, we literally have to, for me, quality of life is a big deal in Galt. And if somebody can't find a place to live in Galt, that's a quality of life issue for me. I mean, we have to, say to ourselves, I understand that if I bought a house, I would want it to be this big and this big lot. But the reality is we need to have some product out there that's going to be a little bit more affordable, if that's even obtainable. But so that's just my comments on the project in general and the rezone. I don't really have a problem with the rezone. I think it's really a mix between the Ashboro neighborhood and what you have over on Park Ridge. I think it's a halfway medium. It's an infill project, which I do support infill. I don't like sprawl, but I'll support infill. I think some of the concerns that I've had that the developer seems reasonable to work with us on that kind of stuff. The tree stuff concerned me a little bit, but I do appreciate them, working with one of the neighbors to save her tree. I mean, I do think it's kind of BS though. They say like, oh, we got to protect the trees, but as long as you pay some money, you can take them out. I mean, that's just stupid. We either saving the trees or we're not. I don't know.
Welcome to California.
Right. So anyways, that's just my thoughts on it. I don't know if anybody else wants to add anything before we try to wrap this up. I know Matt doesn't.
Good.
Bonnie, Tim?
No, just thank you for being patient with us. We've been through a lot lately with developers, so thank you.
It's been a pleasure working with you guys. Thank you.
Well, like I said, I think the planning commission did a good job with really going to bat for some of the things that we would have been fighting for. I think we've asked for a couple things. I know, Tim, you have some concern with the setbacks, but I think it's probably going to be a small number. If anybody wants to propose a motion,
You have to close the,
oh, I'm sorry, yes. Do we have any additional public comment? Last chance to speak. All right, I'm going to close the public hearing. And with that, if there's no further discussion, I'll be looking for someone to propose some sort of motion.
Well, I didn't hear anybody wanting to change anything specific. The only thing I had was, we don't, that's not on here is locking it into the specific number of lots, but, we're assuming that they're going to build.
Is that not already locked in?
It is, it's 65 lots.
Sure it is now, but if they sell it to somebody,
the
then it has
last
to
time
come
they
back.
went
Well,
to
they'd have
council
to-
and changed it. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, they'd have
No,
to
I
amend the map,
understand that,
so.
but that's what happened in the other one, right? That's exactly what happened. So, anyway, I'll make a motion to move as stated in the posted agenda.
All right, we'll have a motion on the floor to approve us, but I have a question for Frank. What would be required if they were to change the amount of lot sizes? What would that require them to do?
That would be a major amendment to the subdivision map, and that would come before the planning commission and city council.
Which it has.
That couldn't happen under the cover of darkness. I mean, it would be very visible. 2 public hearings. Right, Kristen?
Yeah, I'm aware of that, because that's exactly what happened.
And there's no way to lock that in with some sort of motion here to say that they cannot go more than the 65, whether they sold it or not, more than the 65 lots?
We can't lock them in beyond their right to seek an amendment at any time. The staff could tell them, we're not going to recommend it. We don't think it's going to pass, but they can take the risk if they want for a future development. But the gatekeeper is still going to be the planning commission and the city council. So you can't bind future councils or planning commissions with these entitlements, but you can force them to do an amendment to do that.
Right, and I understand all those things. I'm just saying, if they sell it to somebody else, it is zoned to build 76 houses.
But what was the gentleman? I'm sorry, I forgot your name that
They
came up
would
and
have to
spoke.
bring it back.
Mr. Aaron. Well, but Aaron already came up and talked about how much integrity his company had and all that, and he gave me his word that they weren't going to sell the project.
I know.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I trust him.
It's in the minutes.
But I
Be
represent
surprised
the
how
city.
things in the minutes don't seem to apply later on, though. But anyways.
My only point. So
No, it's a fair point. I would just say the last change that occurred, right or wrong, there was a subdivision map change that happened, and it went through the process. So, I can't. I'll stop talking. I just think it's probably pretty unlikely on these facts because you have a project that's ready, almost nearly shovel ready in terms of the grading and some of the civil. And so you would have to do a lot to change it to get the 76 lots.
Well, I think what Ms. Rodriguez's concern is that we're getting ready to approve something that says that the minimum has to be at least 38 whatever hundred. So they could possibly, that's really the only condition. So they could come back and say, well, we thought it was going to be 65, but it's really going to be more like 75 now. But we're still meeting the condition of the 30-some hundred square foot lots. I mean, that's really the only thing we have, it has teeth in it, is that condition with the lot size, right? Am I wrong?
Well, it's 65 lots. That's the subdivision map. There is no wiggle room with respect to that based on the current map, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless they amend.
Okay, and so I understand your motion. Would an alternate motion need to be done if I wanted to make, so there's already a condition that exists that says they're gonna work with engineering on the traffic calming stuff that I talked about, right? So
We are
that's already in
adding
there.
that.
Okay.
Yes.
So I don't need to make a motion to add anything because that's already in there. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm not going to die on the hill.
Frank?
Any of that
They're
gets
spelled out,
changed.
it's spelled out in the MMRP, but if you want to add a condition, would it be to the map, to the tentative subdivision map that says? So amend, oh, sorry, go
It
ahead.
would be to belt and suspenders, you would do a condition and you would amend the tentative subdivision map. And that's, so you wouldn't amend it, you would add a condition to the tentative subdivision map.
Okay.
And for the record, this happens all the time.
Yes, it happened.
Conditions are added sometimes at public hearings to tentative maps, so this isn't completely unheard of.
Okay, so then I could propose an alternate motion with adding a condition.
I don't think we need to propose an alternate because we only have a first on the floor, we don't have a second.
Okay.
So perhaps Mr. Pratton would be willing to amend his motion to include that language, or you could, it's up to you all, but I don't know if you
Someone want to
need.
second Mr. Pratton's motion, or I can ask Mr. Pratton if he would like to alter
Yeah,
his.
Matt, do you want to change that?
Yeah, I'll change it as stated and add the condition of the, even though it's in there, of the 76 lots down to 65 lots. Maximum of 65 lots.
No, the condition we're asking for is the traffic calming measures.
No, the traffic stuff, I'm not.
Okay.
Why don't somebody that knows what they want to say? We have a first, we haven't got a second yet, so that
Anybody want to second his
technically,
motion?
There's no second, it dies.
there's no second, so anyone can make another first.
Well, then I propose a motion to approve with the addition of condition requiring traffic calming measures on Sainer Street to be determined in consultation with City Galt Public Works. Is that good enough language, Frank?
Yes, for me, it is.
Do I have a second on that, or does somebody want to try round three?
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion on the floor by the mayor, seconded by Councilman Rodriguez. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Pratton?
Aye.
Councilmember Reed?
No.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Aye.
Mayor Farmer?
Aye. 3-1, approved. All right.
Somebody has to.
Yeah, can
wake
someone
up
let
Paul.
the vice mayor back in, please?
I think the chief went and got him.
Not fair, he got to go take a nap.
Take a little 1-minute break here real quick. Let him regain his seat. Want to thank the public for your comments and coming tonight. Thank you. I'll be looking forward to coming by your house and seeing your Christmas lights, Mr. Griswold.
Won't need to come by, we just watch from my house. If it looks like Griswold's.
All right, thank you. Welcome back, Mr. Vice Mayor. We are going to move on to item H, regular calendar, I'm sorry. City Council's office, we have the City Council Public Benefit Fund, Ms. Rodriguez. Or Ms. Clerk.
The recommendation is approved by motion allocating Councilmember Rodriguez's $1,000 allotted public benefit funds to the Sunshine Food Pantry and Resource Center. And I'll turn it over to Ms. Rodriguez if she has any other information.
No additional information other than, the season's kind of upon us, and this is kind of a tough time for people in the community, so I just thought this would be a
Thank you
good-
for the presentation, Ms. Bitts. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Just wanted to say before she locked the door. Go ahead. Sorry, my
Anyway,
apologies.
nothing more, just that I think this is a good organization to, that helps our community tremendously, so.
I agree. So do we need a vote on this, or is it?
So I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, motion made by Ms. Rodriguez, seconded by Pratton. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Sandu?
Aye.
Councilmember Pratton?
Aye.
Councilmember Reed?
Aye.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Aye.
Mayor Farmer?
Yes, approve 5-0. All right, next item is going to be the City Treasurer's Office. The subject is the Treasurer's Report for period ending September of 2025. Mr. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight, I always give you some statistics, so let me give you those just right off the bat. And yes, some of it is housing, and I'm afraid I'm going to say something about that. So anyway, here it goes. Unemployment rate first for the city of Galt. 5.2% according to EDD. In comparison, the unemployment rate for the Sacramento County is 5.5%. And the EDD says that there's 12,200 people employed in the city. Now for the housing information. I'm going to give you the housing information for 2 months from October 1st through November 30th. There were 39 houses that were sold. The median was 3-bedroom, 2-bath, which is very average starter home, say. 1,730 square feet. I hate to talk about the lot size now, but it's the lot size was 0.16, which equates to 7,148 as far as the lot size. Okay, now the number that you all want is the actual closed sales price. The median sales, the closed sales price was $530,000. Okay. The of those 46% or 18 of the homes of the 39 were sold within 30 days. Okay, and 86%, or if I do the math right, let me see, 34 of those 39 homes were sold within 90 days. Okay, so there is a demand. There's one point of clarification that I want to clear up. And approximately 4 or 5 months ago, Councilmember Rodriguez, you asked me whether the brand new homes are included in this MLS listing. At the time, I answered yes. That's partially true, and I'll explain. It's partially true, partially not true. If those new developments wish to utilize the MLS, then that is included in here. But if they do not choose to use it, then it's not included. So I just wanted a point of clarification, okay? Now, for the treasurer's report for ending September of 2025, we have approximately 78% of our portfolio that is in, I'll say, the quasi-government bond market. What I mean by that is that the majority of our bonds that we purchase are through the Federal Home Loan Bank, some with Fannie Mae, some with Freddie Mac. We even have a Farmer Mac, okay? So we do invest with that. Now, as you know, and as I've said, interest rates have been trending down. The Federal Reserve is going to meet next week. Next Wednesday, December the 10th, they're going to announce whether they're going to change rates or not again, and high speculation that is, in fact, they will issue another rate cut. Now, what that means for investors, and including the city of Galt, is then we're going to not be able to get those 4% that I'm getting now. We're going to have to go a little bit below the 4% range. For the first quarter of this fiscal year, we earned approximately $1,400,000 in interest income, which you can't multiply that by 4 and say and predict this is where we're going to be, because rates have been coming down. That 1.4 million was based upon many bonds that we're holding at, let's say, 4.5% to 5%, which they have been called. So they've been redeemed back. Right now, as I said, I'm able to get 4%, and as soon as the rate cut comes in, I'll probably have to go below that 4% mark. So with that, I will answer any questions that the City Council has, and otherwise I ask for your approval for the Treasurer's Report as of September 2025.
Well, thank you, Mr. Farrell. I always appreciate your information, especially making it understandable to the public, because it's their money. So we want to make them understand.
Yep.
You were saying the rate cut is anticipated, but our money's all locked in at the rates we're getting now for at least a while, right? But you have some of your stuff matures at different times and stuff, so right? There's
different maturities. By government code, I cannot go beyond 5 years. Okay, but when I purchase these bonds, they are what are called callable bonds. So in other words, I get a little bit higher rate of interest, but it allows the issuer, say the Federal Home Loan Bank, to be able to call that bond back. Okay, so when they call that bond back, they take it back, and we no longer are at that 5% or 4%.
Is that common when rates click down just 0.25% or whatever? Or does it usually take a bigger drop for them to start doing that?
It's usually about 35 basis points or 0.35 of a rate drop. So it's sometimes they get called, sometimes they don't. They get extended for, say, 3 more months or for another month. So within our portfolio, there's many bonds that I have that are monthly calls or quarterly calls. I also have annual calls. So every single one is a variety. Now, if anybody in the public would like to look at that information and see what kind of bonds that we have, it's available on the City of Galt's Treasurer's webpage, and we publish the monthly reports every single month, so they can actually see exactly what transactions are happening and which ones have been called and which ones that I've purchased and at what rate. It goes into, I think, some pretty good detail as far as it provides, when it was settled, what the maturity date is, what's the yield or the rate that we get, the next call date, the next interest pay date, and also then what we've earned so far year to date, fiscal year to date.
They can see all that on there.
Yeah, they can see it all on there.
They can see how much Bitcoin you bought.
Yeah.
I'm joking. For those watching at home, it's
Bitcoin's
a joke.
going down. So,
all right.
But if I as treasurer, I want to be fully transparent because to all the citizens of this community, because it is your money, and that's something that you have to remember. It is our taxpayers' money.
But on the flip side, the good news is that rates are coming down, and people who are looking to buy a home could possibly make it affordable.
The mortgage rate has ticked down a little bit. Oh boy, I think the last time I looked, it was just a touch above 6. And I do anticipate that going down, say maybe below 6. But I got to be honest, right now I don't see, just with that one additional rate cut next week, I think it might go down below 6. But it's going to take a few more rate cuts in order to make a further dent.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Farrell? All right. Well, I will be looking for, I folded my agenda up. What did I do? We're looking for a motion to approve the treasury report. Moved by Vice Mayor Sandu.
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Reed. Can I have a roll call, please?
Vice Mayor Sandu?
Aye.
Councilmember Pratton?
Aye.
Councilmember Reed?
Aye.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Aye.
Mayor Farmer?
Yes.
Thank you very
Treasury
much.
report 5-0. Just want to add that you're earning every penny of that $400 a month you make.
For the record, it's $600
$600
per
okay.
month. Okay.
All right.
Just for the record.
Well, that $1 million interest you made for us was worth every bit of that $600 you make.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's the best rate of return you're ever going to get.
That's right. The best investment we ever made was hiring someone so cheap like yourself.
Yeah.
All right. On to item J. The subject is from the city clerk's office. Subject is the mayor and vice mayor appointments. Ms. Hubert.
So first, we're going to have a little presentation before we move on. Are you going to take a picture? Okay.
Mayor Farmer, if you could come down.
Oh, both of us or just one?
Just you.
Both?
right now.
No, just you.
I'll hand it to you.
So we'd like to present this plaque to you for your dedication and service as mayor for this past year. I know we don't pay you enough for the time that you put in, but it is greatly appreciated, certainly by staff and I know by the community. And the success you've had, and you as a mayor and council, is shown here. The fact that we have one in the audience is good news. That means things are going well. And so the council should be congratulated for how good things are going, and you're a big part of that. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Mr. Sanjay, would you like to join me up front?
Getting your exercise tonight.
They made yours bigger, so.
It's for the greater good.
You already have better ones than say there. I'm sure you can find some room for this. But I want to thank you. For being the vice mayor. I appreciate you being the second when I needed. And obviously you've done the role of mayor before. You did an excellent job. But we want to appreciate you being vice mayor again for this last year, and I just appreciate it. So, thank you.
All right.
Okay. So the action is to appoint a new mayor and vice mayor if city council desires, with terms ending December 2026. And I am going to turn it over to the city attorney for explanation.
Yeah, we're going to try something new this year. We're going to have a written ballot process. Under the Brown Act, though, there can be no secret ballots. So the council before you is a ballot that we are going to do the mayor, selection of the mayor first. So I don't want you to vote and then say, oh, I didn't know it was for the mayor. So I'm telling you now it's for the mayor. You'll see the ballot simply says your name and you vote for, and then there's a blank. Fill in that name. The name you will be writing will be the name of your choice for selection of mayor. Once we're all done, we will hand those to the city clerk. She will read out the council member and their vote for each of the, and we'll do that for all of the council members. If we have a majority, then that person will be the mayor. If not, then we will do it again until we get a mayor selected. Once a mayor is selected through this written ballot, we will then do the same exact drill with a vice mayor. And again, I just want to emphasize that under the Brown Act, there can be no secret ballots. So there will be, the clerk will audibly report out each council member's selection for mayor and vice mayor. And again, if we have a majority, we'll move on to the vice mayor. And then once that's done, the item will be concluded. That's once we get to the actual vote. Like any other agenda item though, mayor, you have the ability to discuss, the council has the ability to discuss, deliberate, and then obviously make sure we go to public comment too before the written vote. And if you have any questions during this process, happy to help.
All right, thank you, Frank. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask if there's any nominations from any of the council members for anyone to be the mayor, and then I will, so whether it's 1, 2, or whatever, we'll allow ample time. And then I will allow a period if anybody wants to make any comments. And we will ask for public comment if there is any. So with that, does anybody would like to put forward a nomination for mayor?
Yes.
I do have a question for Frank, though.
Yeah.
When we put forth the nomination, are we basing this off the nomination, or are we picking?
I wouldn't even say.
You have to vote for someone that's nominated. That's what he's asking.
No, you do not have to vote for anybody that's nominated.
okay.
This is a discussion period. It's a good question. This is a discussion period. You can advocate for somebody to be voted on and approved by your colleagues. So it's slightly a semantic thing.
Right.
But
there
ultimately,
has to be a nomination.
but there doesn't have to be a nomination.
Okay.
You know the way that I foresee this happening is the council discusses, deliberates like they could any other item. They may say, I think so-and-so would be a candidate, or so-and-so would be a good candidate. You may be able to, a council member could say, listen, I think I'm leaning towards this as the candidate for mayor. You can discuss amongst yourselves, fill each other out on that issue, but then ultimately, there's going to be a written vote by each of the members. And so that's why it's no guarantee it'll come out.
All right, so
Yeah.
would anybody like to put forth a nomination?
Yes. I'd like to nominate Ms. Rodriguez.
Okay. And I would like to put forth a nomination to nominate Mr. Sandu to return as mayor. Is there any other nominations? And if not, then we will have a time for discussion. All right, does anybody want to make a comment of any sort?
Yes.
Go say.
So my reasoning is, I think everybody up here is qualified. I don't have a problem with anybody up here. But I've always been an advocate for change, for, shuffling the cards a little bit. So I know you two have done a great job and very highly qualified, but I think Ms. Rodriguez is very well qualified due to her background and the many, many, many meetings that she's been in, and that's why I'm advocating for her.
All right. Thank you, sir. Any other comments? Well, I would just like to say that I've put forth Paul's name again. It is unknown whether Mr. Sandu will run for another term. I know I will not be, and so coming to a close, I was just offering the chance for him to be the mayor one last time before his term is over. And again, as Matt stated, he did a great job when he was the mayor. And we were both served as mayor through some really tough times, COVID, to say the least. And he's more than sufficient to do it. And not to undermine Ms. Rodriguez's ability, 100% agree that her or any of us could do the job. But that's why I'm putting his name forth, is I think give him a chance to do it again one more time for it. So, there's no further comment? All right. Any public comment?
No public comment.
All right, no public comment? All right, so we'll write down our names on who we're voting for. You're going to come around and collect them from us?
Yep,
Okay.
when you're finished.
All right.
Sorry, I'm used to typing, not writing. I thought that was me. Huh.
Yeah, just save that just in case.
Or hold on, here we go.
All right. For the record, just reading as received, no particular order. Tim Reed votes for Bonnie Rodriguez. Bonnie Rodriguez votes for Bonnie Rodriguez. Sean Farmer votes for Paul Sandu. Paul Sandu votes for Paul Sandu. Matt Pratton votes for Bonnie Rodriguez. So we have a majority vote for Bonnie Rodriguez for mayor.
All right, congratulations, Ms. Rodriguez. We'll move on to vice mayor. Anybody want to put forth a nomination?
I will nominate Sean as vice mayor.
I will nominate Mr. Pratton as vice mayor.
Well, I was going to nominate Mr. Tim Reed.
That's going to be interesting.
Okay. Anybody, all right, we have 3 nominations. Anybody want to make any comment? I'll kick it off. First of all, I thank you very much for your offer to be the vice mayor. I appreciate your support, Mr. Sandu. But I put forth Matt's name because, Matt has a lot of experience. He's been a school board member. He's been in elected office before. He was in the city council. I think he does an excellent job. He's very pragmatic, and, I think he's an asset to this council. So I think in honor of, putting some new blood in these positions, I am supporting Matt.
Mayor?
Anybody else comment? No?
Yeah, I'll make a comment. again, it's one of those things we're all qualified for. And I would be happy to serve with any one of you. I did put forth Tim's name. I feel like he brings a little bit different with his EMS background, things that I don't think about very often. And so that's what came to my mind for nominating him.
All right. Any public comment?
No public comment.
All right. With that, we'll move forward with our ballots.
All right, so for Vice Mayor, Sean Farmer votes for Matt Pratton. Tim Reed votes for Tim Reed. Bonnie Rodriguez votes for Tim Reed. Paul Sandu votes for Matt Pratton. And Matthew Pratton votes for Tim Reed. So we have majority vote for Tim Reed.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on, comments by staff?
Yes, we have Parks and Rec Director Solis.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I just wanted to bring a couple of things to your attention. We completed the sports complex playground, and we will be having a ribbon cutting on this Saturday at 1 p.m. Following that, we'll have the lighting of the night parade. So just so you know, last year we had 78 entries. As of today, we have 79. So it'll be bigger than last year. Also, we will be doing a few things different. Due to the new route, we will have a new entrance, and we'll be sending those out to the people that have registered floats. We also launched our Parks and Rec guide today. It's a digital guide. Jackie Garcia will be here next council meeting to give you a presentation on it and to provide you written or printed copies.
And Assistant City Manager Mendez.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Wanted to just give everybody a quick economic development update. We did have the Planning Commission approved a CUP for grocery outlet at their last meeting. And I spoke with the representative with grocery outlet. Sounds like they have received plan review approval for their build out. So we anticipate them hopefully occupying the space of the former Rite Aid early in 2026. They'll be starting construction sometime in January, it sounds like. And then in addition, in the same shopping center, the former Subway location is going to be occupied by Wingstop. And so Wingstop will be taking over the Subway location. Additionally, one of the spaces formerly occupied by Squeeze Burger is becoming available, and so we've been in contact with the property owner there, and there's a lot of interest in the site because it's an existing restaurant build out. So I think we will see that occupied relatively quickly. So report out as soon as we have a tenant for that space, but lots of activity going on in that shopping center there where Tractor Supply is. So just wanted to give you guys a quick update on that.
And then lastly, Police Chief Kalinowski.
Thank you. Congratulations, Madam Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor. It's going to be different to say. So Tuesday, I mentioned it before, we will have our open house for the holiday at the PD from 4 to 6 p.m. It's a Charlie Brown Christmas this year. And so staff's worked hard to present the facility and the things for the kids to look at. We'll have Santa, so you can get pictures with Santa. We have hot chocolate, some of the same things that you've seen in the past. But we're ready for it, and it should be a good time. And we look forward to this this weekend and, of course, next week. So thank you. That's all I have.
All right. Comments by city council members, future agenda items. Mr. Pratton.
No future agenda items. I did attend some other things besides the cast meeting on the 17th. Back on the 5th, I went to a biomass meeting in Sacramento. I bring this up because, you know, the discussion of hydrogen and those types of things came up, and this is kind of what the biomass is about, is creating energy off of plants, so, and or other biomass things. And what's going on is there's multiple plants that are, well, a lot of them have been created, many of them have failed. You know, a lot of these projects are through grant monies and stuff, and we'll probably continue to see more of that. But there are a couple of plants that are pretty successful up in the mountains right now. They're taking the waste from the trees that are being chopped up and throwing them in. I believe both of those facilities are creating electricity off of burning the trees. But they can do other things. They can do hydrogen and stuff. So anyway, it was very interesting. If anybody's interested in the information, I can give you that information. I don't want to go into great detail. On 11/12, I went to Helping Hand Association. 11/12, Parks and Rec Commission meeting. 11/13, Planning Commission. 11/20, Chamber of Commerce luncheon where TJ spoke. That was great. 11/21, the Liberty Ranch football playoff, of course. So the only thing I wanted to comment on all these things is, you know, it's kind of nice to go to these meetings and see all the different faces that are being involved in our community. You know, we do what we do here, but there are many people out there doing it. And, you know, I always try to talk about the growth of our city, and this is a positive. Because of our growth, we have more people that participate. And you know, there was a lot of faces I didn't even know at some of these places. And so, great job. That's all I got.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Sandu.
Few things. One thing, there is no agenda item. Same thing on November 20th, I did attend chamber luncheon with council member Breton. And there was a good discussion from the city employees, TJ and Carlos Lario. They did explain about the business license, how you can get the new business license and how you renew it, and good job. And I also like to thank you for the public comment, and thank you for the staff, they're hardworking. And congratulations to the mayor and vice mayor. Thank you, that's all, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you, sir. Vice Mayor Reed.
Thank you. The first thing I wanted to point out was Mr. Solis in Parks and Rec. I'm involved in the basketball. I'm coaching my son's basketball team, and it didn't come out until, like, it wasn't obvious to me this last week, everything that they've got going on Saturday. So I really wanted to say thank you to them and all of his team, because they have picture day for basketball in the morning, then they have exhibition in the afternoon, they have the ribbon cutting, and then they have the parade at night. So his team is going to be working all day on Saturday, probably through till late hours of the night. So I just wanted to point all that out so that everybody else knew, and to say thank you. And then thanks to everybody else for doing all their hard work. And I did have one question for Trung. I know I'm kind of springing this on you. But do we have any updates, or maybe somebody else can answer, on the pallet yard, or I don't know what we're calling it, the ant farm? What is the location?
The ant farm.
Anybody? And you can come back later if you don't know.
I have to come back to you. I do know there was a contract that was executed with Cal Waste, And so there was a process there, and I believe we just handed over to them, but I can follow up with an update if you'd like.
I'm blaming this one on Matt because he talked about grinding up, the trees and making energy, and I know that's what we were doing with the pallets, so.
Could be enough waste there to do a biomass plant.
And just briefly update on that item, I had reached out to Public Works a couple weeks ago because we are looking to advertise that property for lease, and so working with an industrial broker to potentially start marketing that site. So I did engage to kind of find out, and it looks like within the next couple of weeks, that site will be completely cleaned up.
Nice.
And then we will start advertising that out to industrial users for a temporary use for the next 5 to 7 years until the construction of the interchange starts. So, and we are being very picky on who we will be leasing the site to. Obviously, sales tax and job creation are most important. There are some limitations on the site because it doesn't have infrastructure readily accessible. So well and septic are on the property, and that's kind of what we have to work with. So probably won't see any structures built out there, but hopefully we can find a good user for the next couple of years.
Perfect. Thank you. That's all.
All right. Mayor Rodriguez?
First of all, I'd like to thank my fellow council members for the confidence, and I hope I can live up to the two stalwart gentlemen to my left that have led us, so I probably will lean on you quite a bit. I just real quick, because of what we approved tonight with the housing, or with that development, are we any closer? Do we have a timeline on when we're going to have all of our anyway, all of our rules of what we're,
Development
what we're gonna do?
standards.
Yeah, our standards.
Yeah, my goal is to get those to Planning Commission in February. I have a draft that I'll be circulating internally for review, but I'm hoping February Planning Commission, then ideally March Council.
Perfect. That sounds great. Other than that, I'm looking forward to Saturday, probably not as much as Armando's looking forward to it, I guess. Do you get the week off after, or what?
What if we were to make a
Yes,
motion
but
for
he
that?
doesn't know it yet.
Okay. And also, I will be in trouble when I get home if I do not mention to Mr. Pratton that apparently a little birdie has told me that someone at the federal level is working on a biomass bill. So maybe somehow that will trickle down to help support, help California and help our area to support moving things along in that area. And I did want to bring back up a little bit what I talked about transit and hydrogen. I know that there was a little bit of chatter at one point of a hydrogen station of some sort being put into Galt. I think I'm just putting it out there. It might be worth a conversation I think it was Air Products, because it sounds like SACOG is looking for some sort of business partner on that front, and it might be something that we can all help each other on, so.
The facility at the end of Twin Cities is still a go, so
Yeah.
I can pass that information on.
So as they were talking, I kept thinking this might be something, there's a lot of talk, but there's talking about, if we go to hydrogen for public transit, that instead of everybody trying to build their own, because that would be much more expensive, that somehow they do things regionally. Obviously, we're at the tail end of everything, so no one's going to think of us unless we put it out there and we have a local company that might want to partner with us. So just something to think about. Anyway, just want to put it there. And again, have a great lighting of the night. I think it's going to be a great evening. So.
All right, thank you. Yeah, thanks for asking about the design standard. I was going to bring that up. First, because I have a question, I just want to say thank you, Trung, for filling in as our Public Works Director. We appreciate you stepping into that. And with that, I have a question. Do we have a timeline on when the Adair Way discussion is going to come back? I know we were presented with some options, and I don't know where we kind of left that off with.
We'll come back to you with a timeline. We don't have that at this point.
Okay. I just didn't want to.
Understood.
All right. I want to say thanks to Parks and Public Works, whichever, both of you. Appreciate the leave cleanup. There's a ton of people out there doing leave cleanup for the parade, and it was a lot, so they were doing a good job. So I want to thank you for all that. I know you guys have your Parks and Rec. Well, actually, there's many people involved, including PD with street closures and things like that, but it's I know it's going to be like the Super Bowl on Saturday, so hopefully it goes off without a hitch. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a great thing, and this is one of the reasons why people love our town is the great parades. So I know we won't disappoint. Let's see, I had something else. I'm not going to ask about that. So lastly, just congrats to Vice Mayor Reed. I'm sure you'll do a good job. Obviously, congratulations to you, Ms. Rodriguez. I'm sure you'll do a great job. You have plenty of knowledge and you've been around enough these meetings to know how they work, and I think you'll do a good job running it. Just a little bit of advice from someone like Paul and I who have done this for quite some time. My only advice to you is, being the mayor, you tend to get beat up. If there's not something going right in town, people tend to think it's your fault and you have total control over it. People don't always look at there's a 5-person thing, so you just gotta roll with that stuff and don't take it personally. I know it's tough, but people will try to hold you accountable solely. So thicken your skin up because you'll need it. And but we're all here to support you. And if you need anything, you can always ask. And of course, I think you're gonna do a good job. And congratulations on being the 6th female mayor that Galt has had. So with that, I just want to say thank you for my role as a mayor. I appreciate it. It's bittersweet, but it's probably gonna be the last time I'll ever do it. And to not know that I'll probably never run another meeting, and I'll never get to go up here and delay the meeting a little longer to see who wins the bets. But yeah, but it's been great. Like I said, it's been bittersweet. I'm sure I'll look back at it with fond memories. But it's been tough, but I'm glad to finally relinquish it and pass the baton on to somebody else. So again, congrats. And with that, I will adjourn the meeting, 8:17. Good night.